There is, I think most people in music like flying because there's a poetry in it. Certainly, I worked on some films that involved flying, and that poetry, that feeling is there. One of my favorite cues is in the Tuskegee Airmen when he has his first solo. I love that cue. And the director said, "This is wide open. This is all yours. Just take it." And it's a great moment that when he finally realizes he can fly by himself.
That film was an important film.
Very important film. It's a marvelous film. Everybody should dig it up and watch it because it's a great part of our history. The Tuskegee Airmen were African-American flyers that were put together by the Air Force and trained, but then
during World War II.
World War II,
Yeah.
were not sent into battle because there was a feeling in the military that they weren't capable. But Eleanor Roosevelt visited the base and said, "Why aren't these boys over there helping us?" So they wound up sending them. They became one of the most remarkable squadrons in the history of the Air Force, the Army Air Force. And Robert Markowitz, who wrote the script, took their stories, real, actual stories that he got told by the different flyers, and he put them all into this script as told by these few flyers. And everything you see in that film is a true story, but it's woven together as a story about this one character. And I really admire that about that film. And I love doing that score. That was a big moment for me, too, also, because here was flying, and here's a very beautiful, dramatic story. One of the best compliments ever paid to me as a composer was by Robert Markowitz, the director of the Tuskegee Airmen, a marvelous film. At the end of the movie, after everything they've been through, there's a moment where Lawrence Fishburne, one of the pilots, the main character of the movie, turns around and starts to walk out of the commander's office. And when he gets to the doorway, he has a line. And I had written a cue that started as he turns, and it was a very kind of bittersweet solo trumpet cue. It had the heroic side in it, but it was a little bittersweet. And the director turned to me, he said, "I've taken the last line out. The cue says everything that needs to be said." That just melted me on the spot.
You said it all.
And to me, that was like, okay, that's the nicest thing anybody has said to me about my music.